Hey, LDBC, this is your boy, the Coach. You're live on the Coach Show, the Coach Show Live. Okay, folks. So, I've seen a lot of videos. Man, you would think that, Errol Spence and Bud Crawford have the fight coming up, but no. People are really talking about these two as if, like, these two about to have the mega bout tomorrow. Crazy, huh? People get really butthurt, man. They get really butthurt when I say, MMA is winning. And this kind of further proves my point. But, I look at it like this, man. Errol Spence and Bud Crawford, they have the ability to make a super fight. They have that ability. It's there, it's in them, but unfortunately, it's just a lot of red tape, guys. There's so much red tape with this fight. I think both of them, they just kind of, in their mind, they just like, well, the fight ain't going to happen. I don't actually think these two are afraid of each other. I think they both share some of the blame. I think they both do. I think, it's been a lot of people putting out Errol Spence videos and, making it seem like that it's all Errol Spence's fault, which I don't know. That's a bit one-sided when you don't want to see, you don't want to see, like, the wrong in both situations. You just don't want to see it. I think they both got stuff wrong. I think that they both have a part to play in this fight not happening. I think they both do. But here's the thing, man. It's two sides. Errol Spence Jr. wants 60%. And, everybody getting on Bud because he won't take the 40%. People are saying that, Errol Spence Jr. can't sit back and dictate a man's worth. And why does Bud need to concede to Errol Spence Jr., who, when Errol Spence Jr., he ain't done much either in the sport of boxing. I don't know. We don't have these conversations in MMA. We just don't have them. They never come up because the fights that we want, we get them. And when we ask for the fights, we get them, 6 months into the year we get those fights. Guys, we about to watch Francis Ngannou and Stipe Miocic 2 this weekend coming up. That's one of the biggest heavyweight fights of the year that's going to take place. We about to get that fight. Do y'all know how long we've been calling for Francis and Stipe to get back in there? Approximately 5 months or less. We've been wanting them back in the octagon, and guess what? We finna get them back in there. This is funny, man. These two, they can't even come together and agree on terms of a fight. I'm gonna look at this from both sides, okay? Let's start with Errol Spence, okay? Errol Spence feels like, he's the bigger draw, okay? He feels like he should get more of the money. I'm going to agree with that statement. I think he is a bigger draw. I think Bud Crawford, he's had his chance on pay-per-view and it flopped. I mean, people just don't F with Bud like that. They just don't do it. They just don't. And, I find it funny, man, that so many of these people, like, they make videos about Errol Spence. They make all these videos, but, nobody want to talk about Teofimo Lopez and, how he, now been trying to play hardball when he's negotiating with Devin Haney. I don't think nobody, people are not really talking about that. People are praising Teo and saying, hey, Teofimo got his bag. I kind of have to wonder, though, why can't Errol Spence get his money? I mean, Teofimo Lopez get to make his money. Why not Errol Spence? I mean, that's a question that I have to think about. Like, why? Why is it okay for Teo to hold out to make more money? But it's not okay for Errol Spence to do the exact same thing. Man, bro, but Errol could do this and do that. I'm not trying to hit it. Okay, I'm talking, black and white. Teofimo Lopez, can hold out and make his bag. Errol Spence can't do it. I mean, how does that sound? Now, I can understand it from Bud Crawford's point of view. I understand it. I mean, hey, I'm undisputed. I was undisputed. I'm beating everybody. I'm knocking everybody out. And I'm in this era. I'm an undisputed fighter in this era, I can see it, from his point of view. I can see that, and I'm not finna let him tell me what I'm worth. Because as a man, you ain't finna let somebody tell you what you're worth, okay? And I know, a lot of us don't rock with Bud, but I see where he's coming from. So what needs to happen? I think the truth lies, it starts with the boxing fans. I think the truth, it starts with the boxing fans themselves, us. It starts with us. See, things don't get better. Things don't get any better. Things don't work out until the boxing fans agree that we're not going to accept less than their best. We don't want any other fight except them fighting. And we can't go and we can't support these two. We can't support them at all. We can't go watch them fight. We can't do any of it until they fight each other. See, that's what's got to happen. Do you guys know that the boxing promoters, they'll bend the knee? Okay, they'll take a knee and they'll do what we want. If we don't support them, if we just don't buy their pay-per-views, like if we don't, watch them fight. If you just black these guys out, you get what you want. You get it. I remember once, man, we wanted a fight so bad. We wanted DC and John Jones too. We wanted that fight. And I'm talking about the MMA fans, they spoke. And, when the DC and John Jones fight didn't happen when we thought it needed to happen, guess what happened? I can't remember, it was UFC 2 something. And, that pay-per-view did horrible numbers. It flopped. Guess what Dana White did? He looked at the numbers and he said, okay, let's make the fight. And we got John Jones and DC too. Okay, we got that fight. So here's the thing, man. Don't think that because as a boxing fan you don't have power. But I just think that, you picking a side and then you going with it, I just think that's stupid. I think it's stupid. And if you're looking at one side, if everybody blaming Errol Spence for everything, then, I don't know what to tell you. If everybody blaming Bud Crawford, and I know Bud has done some dumb stuff, he stayed at top rank. Most of the fighters are at PBC. Most of the fighters in the PBC. But then when you flip the coin, guys, when you flip that same coin, when you flip it, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder was able to get a fight done. And Tyson Fury, works with Top Rank, and Frank Warren and ESPN. And Deontay Wilder works with the PFC. So, the PBC. That fight was able to get done. So I guess this whole thing, that, I don't know, this side of the street, the promoters ain't doing this, ain't doing that. I don't know. I think these fighters have a little bit more say-so. And I think if these two really, truly wanted to fight, if they really wanted to, they can make their promoters take notice and go ahead and do what they want. This fight could happen. It could happen. But it's called a negotiation, okay? I don't know. I don't know what's going to have to happen. Bud Crawford want 50-50. He want 50-50, and he's not going to concede on that. He ain't going to concede at all. I don't know how they get past that barrier. And Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence wants 60%. I don't know how to get past that. I just don't know. You see, people, they get angry at people like Dana White and Scott Coker. They get mad at those MMA promoters. They get mad at these guys, and they take advantage of their fighters. Well, boxing do the same thing. I hate when people say, the MMA promoters take advantage of the fighters. They do. They take advantage of the fighters? Okay, so y'all don't forget about Bob Arum and Don King and Eddie Hearn. All of the promoters take advantage of their fighters. That's just what it is. They take advantage of their fighters. They do. They get more of the lion's share of the purse. The promoters eat well and the boxers, well, they get some of the crumbs off the table. Happens in everything. That's just how it is. That's the nature of it. But MMA, I noticed that they are committed to giving us the best fights. The best fights that we can see. They're committed to that, and they do that consistently. Year after year, day after day, month after month, we're getting the best fights. We're talking about predictions. We do a lot of predictions and breakdowns. In boxing, we don't quite do that because we just don't have the matchups to do it. So now what do you have? The community has been reduced to people just bickering and arguing about stuff that they ain't got no control over anyway. It's a shame though for boxing that we can't get this fight. We can't get Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. We can't get Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. That's a fight that I still want to see. We can't get that fight. It's just a shame for the sport of boxing as a whole because the sport of boxing can be great. It can be that much greater, but guys, I'm right about this. It's just what it is, okay? The sport of boxing, they're not going to change. They're not going to do anything different. They're not going to because the boxing fans haven't actually stepped up and say no more, okay? I can't do this anymore. This is not the way things work. This is not how we're going to get down. The boxing fans are not willing to do that. The boxing fans want to just, poke jabs at other boxing channels. They want to say this person ain't saying this person ain't saying that. Where the real energy need to be directed towards these promoters and the fighters. They can make this fight if they want to fight. But I'm not trying to hear people come to my channel, man. Bud did this and, Earl did. I ain't trying to hear that no more, okay? I want to see the fight. That's it. I don't care about all the talking and the nonsense and the jibber jabber and the poking. I don't want to hear no more of that, man. I don't want to hear no more of that. I don't care. Just make the fight.